How's it going, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the number one buy and the number one sell currently listed in the A1 Edge Finder. But before we get into that, let's check out our COT data for the week. So starting off here with the top section, we have COT data in order of the most short here on the left all the way to our most long here on the right. COT data, of course, is institutional trader data. This is what institutional traders, or sometimes called smart money traders, what they are currently the most long and short on. This is a really good indicator because smart money traders are professional traders that release a report of exactly what they're long and short on. So you can kind of follow and study up on what these big smart institutional traders are buying and selling. So right now they are buying a lot of gold. Institutional traders are nearly 75%. All out of all institutional traders, nearly 75% of them are long on gold and oil right now, as well as the pound. The pound is our most long currency out of all the assets that we're tracking here on the Edge Finder. On the opposite side, however, they are very short the Japanese yen as well as the Australian dollar. Now, if you've watched these videos before, or if you're just familiar with the Edge Finder, then you probably know what this table is. This is probably one of the most important features of the Edge Finder, but just in case you are unfamiliar, what we're looking at here is the changes week to week in COT data. So comparing last week's report to our most recent report and seeing what the changes are. The reason that's so important is because you can actually spot shifts in momentum when it comes to these institutional traders, and when they are shifting long bias to neutral bias, or neutral bias to short bias, or short bias all the way to long bias, whatever the case may be, comparing by week, comparing weekly to see the changes being made in this stuff is so incredibly important. So for example, right up here, our very top most net percent change asset is silver, meaning last week they added 797 long contracts on silver. So that's not exactly significant, but they closed 9,155 short contracts. So they're not exactly wanting to go long on silver necessarily. 62% of them are long on silver, but it's not like the entire market is flooding to go long on silver per se, but they are absolutely doing everything they can to get out of their short contracts. Over 9,000 short contracts closed on silver from last week to this week. So what does that tell you? I probably would not be shorting silver at the moment. So that's COT data. Let's check out retail positioning really quickly. We'll look at major and minor currency pairs. So starting off with major currency pairs first, market analysis, free trading courses, Edge Finder data, and special offers. What do these things all have in common? They're all available for you right now inside of our free Discord. You can click the link down in the description below to join the free Discord today and get access to all of this and more. Stay up to date with all the latest trading information and A1 content. And if you want to upgrade to our Gold VIP Discord that features every single trade that Trader Nick and our other professional analysts take, you can find the links for that in the description as well. So don't wait, go check out the free Discord today. Right now, it looks like day traders, retail traders are favored long on USD CHF, AUD USD, and NZD USD. These three are getting bearish signals because the crowd, the overall favorite from the crowd, from day traders, is to go long on these assets. And day traders lose money, so this is a bearish signal for us. On the flip side, USD CAD and USD JPY are both being shorted by the crowd, shorted by day traders, and that is giving us a bullish indicator. Let's check out minor currency pairs now. A lot bigger of a list here with a lot of bullish biases as well as bearish biases as well too. So I'll let you pause the video if you want to take a closer look at this. Remember, if the overall crowd is favored over 60% on the long side or favored over 60% on the short side, that is either a bearish or a bullish indicator for us. But I'm going to jump back into top setups, and I'm going to remove these neutral biases so that we can see all of our bullish, bearish, or very bullish in this instance biases that we have in the Edge Finder today. Lots of bullish stuff. Not a whole lot of bearish stuff. This is kind of what we saw last week as well. What we did not see last week, however, was this very bullish bias plus 10 score on gold. Gold has been skyrocketing over the past couple of days because of a lot of different fundamental news. So let's definitely check out gold and all the numbers and data backing that plus 10 very bullish bias. And then NZD CAD is technically our most bearish asset with a score of -6. So we'll check out gold and then we'll check out NZD CAD. But let's go ahead and start off with gold and get all of those data and numbers backing the gold plus 10 score. So having a little bit trouble with the XAU USD text that shows up there, but that's all right because all of our data is still here. So plus 10 score, like I said, COT score is a +3 and retail sentiment is a +1. Taking a look right over here, we can see that institutional traders, like we mentioned earlier, their number one thing they are most long on at the moment is gold. Nearly 75% of all institutional traders are long on gold at the moment. When it comes to the US dollar, however, they are 50-50. I know that technically this is 52%, so technically they're favored long on the dollar, but let's be real, this is way too close to 50-50. 47, nearly 48% of institutional traders think that gold is shorting right now, is going down. So absolutely no bias here one way or the other. We do have bias, however, on our recent change. So similar to the silver that I was showing you earlier, last week's report to this week's report, gold actually got even more long, even more bullish from COT data last week to this week, whereas the dollar actually got more bearish from last week to this week. So that's why we have a big +3 score here for COT data. Retail sentiment, on the other hand, just barely crossing over that 60% threshold on the short side from day traders, giving us a bullish bias here, +1 score. Seasonality is also a +1 score, and we can see here that we are now officially in the month of March. But gold, historically speaking, gold over the last 10 years, if you average the last 10 years, each of these individual months, and saw how gold traded in that month, you would see that in March, historically, again, over the last 10 years, typically tends to trade higher in the month of March. Trend reading is a score of +2. And if we want to open up our price forecast page here, we can get a little bit of a better look at the actual daily price chart. So here's gold right up top, and this is what our daily chart looks like dating all the way back to February 13th. And it is very clear to see that it hasn't been a super sharp uptrend, but a uptrend nonetheless as price continues to move higher almost every single day here on our XAU USD daily price chart. And price forecast also predicts that the gold price will continue to move higher over the next couple of days at least. So back into our scanner page, we can finish up here with our fundamental data. Economy, inflation, and interest rate scores all +1. Labor market is a 0 or a neutral score. So we don't actually have economy, inflation, and interest rate numbers on gold, but we do often compare gold to the dollar, compare gold, the price of gold to the price of the dollar. So we can look at these dollar numbers right here. GDP growth in the US, 3.2%, inflation, 3.1%, unemployment, 3.7%, interest rates, 5.5%, retail sales month over month, -0.8%, and MPMI 52.2. So that's all the data and numbers backing up that very bullish bias +10 score on gold. The other asset that we said that we're going to take a look at was the New Zealand dollar and the Canadian dollar. So let's head on into FX miners and find NZD. It was NZD CAD. That was what it was. NZD CAD right here. Score of -6. Bearish bias. COT data is a score of +1. Retail sentiment is a score of -1. So let's check this out. So New Zealand dollar. This is actually the just the absolute closest that I've ever seen one of these assets be to 60%. 60.07% is technically just enough to get that a bullish score here on the New Zealand dollar, whereas the Canadian dollar really is just sitting right at 50-50. Both recent changes have been positive from last week to this week, but retail sentiment, retail traders are very, very heavily favored long on NZD CAD at the moment, which is a strong bearish bias for us. Seasonality is a score of +1, so we can see again we are now officially in the month of March, and historically speaking, NZD CAD does trade higher in the month of March, so that might be something to keep your eye out on. Trend rating is a score of -2, and if we want to take a look at price forecast, again, we'll be able to get a better idea of what the chart actually looks like. So let's pull up NZD CAD in our price forecast chart. In fact, I'll just search it to make it a little bit quicker. NZD CAD. And there we go. So a bit of an uptrend about a week ago, and then it kind of topped out here in between 0.83 and 0.84 on the price chart. But over the past couple of days, it has been dropping, and price forecast predicts that it is going to continue to drop. And in fact, over the last 3 days, it has dropped very, very hard. So interesting to see there. Let's finish up with our fundamental data. We have an economy score of -4. Inflation is a score of +1, interest rates a 0 score, and labor markets a -2 score. So kind of all over the place in terms of scoring, but a bearish bias nonetheless. We have seen price dropping over the last 3 days. So let's finish up again with our fundamental numbers. Canadian GDP growth 0.2% compared to -0.3% in New Zealand. Our MPMI score is 1.4 in Canada and 3.87 in New Zealand. Retail sales 1 compared to -1. Inflation in Canada 2.9% compared to 4.7%. The unemployment rate in Canada 5.7% compared to 4%. And lastly, interest rates on the Canadian dollar are 5% compared to 5.5% on the New Zealand dollar. So there we go. There is all the numbers and data backing up that -6 score bearish bias on NZD CAD. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested in the Edge Finder and all of these useful trading tabs that we have here to help you find better trade setups and ultimately make you a better trader, you can find it in the links down in the description below, as well as on our website, a1trading.com. And if you want to get the Edge Finder for yourself and you want it at a discounted price, you can use promo code A1YT at checkout, again, for a discount on the Edge Finder. Did you know we do a live trading show Monday through Friday with guests from all over the world? To get notified when we go live, click the bell button next to the subscribe button or check in at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have helpful, free content in the description below and on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you tomorrow.